Hello, good evening, and welcome back. So, Labour's manifesto is out, and we can see how much they've been influenced by the far left of the radical wing of the Democrats in America with their manifesto pledges. From the BBC website, General Election 2019, Labour launches a radical manifesto. So, what are the main things that they're proposing here? £75 billion to build 150,000 new council and social homes a year within 5 years. Might you ask, who is that housing? Well, it's obviously not for the British population, seeing as we are at below repopulation rate. So this is just for mass immigration, and you're going to notice that that's a theme. It's going to be taxing the people who are living here, who are contributing, in order to pay for the people who are not contributing and are just coming here for the time being while it's legal, I suppose. But whether legal or not, they are the people that the legal livers are paying for. So that's how it begins. Let's not go on to say, of course, how everything is, all the infrastructure is overstressed, seeing as they don't mention anything about sewage or water or electricity or roads. No, of course not. In fact, if anything, they just want to clog up the roads more, and this is an example of that. So we're already reaching maximum capacity with our Victorian-era plumbing, but they're not going to do anything about that because that sounds like dirty work. Instead of focusing on things like sewage, they're going to go for free broadband for all, delivered by part nationalising BT, which makes these companies very uncomfortable, of course, and their shares to drop. And that was announced as well. And at what cost is this going to be? Well, at what cost is it all going to be? It's going to be far too much. It's going to bankrupt their country. You can't have these sorts of policies if you don't have some natural resources to be able to live off. And when you decide that you wish to just import the third world because, hey, it feels good, man. It feels like we're doing the righteous thing because of how much white guilt we seem to have accumulated. It's not going to work. It can't work. By you trying to do a nice thing, you're just going to ruin it for everybody. You're going to ruin it for the people coming over because you cannot support that many people. If you look at the population of Pakistan, for example, where it's greater than that of the UK, it's like you want to bring everyone in from Pakistan in order to provide them a better quality of life. Well, that isn't going to work. You can't. It's the thing of, let's say we bring in 1 million people. That's already going to be too many and put a big strain on the UK infrastructure. If you're trying to double the population of the UK instead, then that's just impossible. That's physically impossible. It's not going to work, and yet that seems to be the desire here. So what is the upper limit? You need a hard number on this. They're not giving one because they know it's impossible, but it feels good. Next, an immediate 5% pay rise for public sector workers with year-on-year above inflation pay rises to follow. You already have, I think it's 54% of the population who are employed by the state in one regard or another, in which case their wages are being paid for by the other 46%, by the minority, and now you want them to be paid more, while also nationalising other services, so they're now paid for by the other people of your country as well. So also impossible. Introduce a real living wage of at least £10 an hour, and this is for people 16 years of age plus, which means they're not going to get a job because there won't be enough. The employers will not be able to take the risk on them, in which case it will just go to automation, and you're going to decrease employment, you're going to increase joblessness. Reviewing the retirement age for people in hard manual jobs, wanting to decrease that, so again, pay people more money. This basically just comes down to bribery. Introducing a second homes tax, so good luck if you're hoping to find somewhere to rent because you can't afford a place to buy. Not going to work for you. Reversing inheritance tax cuts and imposing VAT on private school fees. So if you want to make money and leave it to your children, what a load of good that is. Yes, that is probably your primary incentive in order to make something worthwhile, because you probably want to leave a legacy. I know I do. That's why I would like to be successful in order to provide for my family, but they're not going to let me do something like that, so I'll definitely be leaving as well. So we could start that with capital flight. Might not be able to leave yet. It'll have to be once I build up some sort of wealth, as difficult as Labour will make it. Otherwise I'll just be a refugee or economic migrant, I suppose, as it might be, trying to actually make some money for myself and everybody else in the process, seeing as that seems to go against Labour's policy, actually having money. And VAT on private school fees. So yes, if you actually want a good education, instead of just having these uneducated masses who will vote for you no matter what, then they're going to, of course, raise the price on that. Giving EU nationals living in the UK the automatic right to stay. This is not dependent on whether we have a deal or not with Brexit, seeing as he wants to try and negotiate a deal and then have a vote on it and he's not saying if he's going to be for Remain or Leave, although some of his party members have said that they will vote for Remain. So how the hell do you think you're going to be able to negotiate a good deal in the first place? It's going to be an awful deal or Remain. This isn't actually a true choice, seeing as Corbyn doesn't have a backbone to stand up to the EU anyway, especially not with somebody like John McDonnell right behind him, ready with a knife at the back. Or maybe Jess Phillips saying she'll knife him in the front. Reinstating 3,000 bus routes that have been cut, yes, ones that were most likely not profitable, and worse than that, he wants them to be free for under 25s. How much bloody spending do you plan on doing? And this isn't like, oh, this is going to be an investment. No, this is just money gone down the drain. This ain't ever going to work. You're going to be instituting policies like in South America, and we all see how that's worked out. You might be trying to copy Scandinavia or Norway, but again, as I say, we don't have the natural resources in order to pay for it. So it ain't going to work. Free broadband for all, covered it. A £3 billion plan to offer adults in England free access to retraining. I don't think you need that, considering the free market is already finding a way. Peterson, as in Dr. John W. Peterson, is making away with that with an online university alternative, and the amount of free education available on YouTube and other internet sites, as well as, of course, libraries. I mean, that is unnecessary. You can prove yourself in an interview, and, of course, with the other freelance work you've done, just make something for yourself and then point to your catalogue. Let's say you particularly want to go into a STEM field or a maths area, then start creating educational content on a video sharing platform like YouTube, like this. With that in mind, also do check out my BitChute channel, because who knows how long this will stay on YouTube. You create something there, then when you go for a job, because apparently you want a different one, you say, hey, here's proof I know what I'm doing, go look at my YouTube back catalogue, it's all there, and it shows I'm serious because I've been doing it for 3 years. You can do that. And you can also see I've built up a following because I'm good at what I do. Made mistakes in the beginning, but I made them, and that's not going to be at your expense, so that's good for you. And now, using that as well, I can make better videos, which is then better for the people that I'm showing on my YouTube channel, and then that's also drawing more publicity to your place of teaching. So it's win-win. So do that. A pledge to reduce all primary school classes to fewer than 30 children. So you're going to have to build thousands new schools as well. Already overstretched. Good luck even making that happen. Even if feasible, you wouldn't have enough space for it. Oh, and also with the free access to retraining, that includes university fees being cut. In which case, I'd go to university. Why not? I'm seeing as they're also going to keep the maintenance loans. So, okay, what I would probably do is apply for university, still have my job, then I can get a degree for free, and then leave the country, because the country's going to be fucked anyway. So maybe try and last it 3 years, and then skedaddle off. That's what I'd do. Free personal at-home care in England for over 65s, most in need of it. NHS is already overstretched. This ain't ever going to work. The amount of staff you'll be needing as well will never work. A pledge to renew the Trident nuclear deterrent and spend at least 2% of GDP on defence. This one actually makes sense. Fair enough. Not that Corbyn will ever use it, so this is just his own character flaw. But as a policy, I can agree to that. Reducing the voting age to 16, which is just because he thinks they're the people who are stupid enough in order to vote for him, elongating their childhood for the cost of their adulthood. So it's evil as far as I'm concerned. And of course here he is holding up his little red book, just like Mao Zedong did. And what did his Great Leap Forward cause? 72 million dead. Right. It seems that if this socialism fails wherever it is tried, this communism, whatever you want to call it, the result is always the same. Mass starvation, mass death, and silencing of political enemies with weapons and bloodshed. So there we are. Let me know what you think down below. Have I missed something out that is worth mentioning? Oh, you might say yes. What about him saying we're going to allow abortion up to the point of birth? Even though that's really, really unpopular. Let's put numbers behind it. So at the moment it's up to 24 weeks. What proportion of women would like that to be extended, so longer than 24 weeks? 1%. 1%. As in, it could even be a statistical anomaly. Yeah. What proportion of women, because no uterus, no opinion, would like it decreased from 24 weeks, 70%. Where are you getting these policies from? How do you think you are populist when you come up with these things, saying the public hate it? It's from the far left in America. Well, of course it is. But no, I do not accept abortion as a form of contraception. But let me know what you guys think down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. If my explanation has been adequate to just rattle off why they're wrong on all those forms, it's kind of an academic agent style video, then do let me know if I'm wrong, if I've missed anything, if I've misunderstood something. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say, so please do leave that down below. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Check out my channel on BitChute, subscribe over there as well, link in the description. And if you're feeling extra generous, there is of course a subscribe star link as well. All is appreciated, thank you, and have a good evening.